Hello, and welcome to Crafting in the Dark with Unseen Strands, where I, your host Mo, am visually impaired and will be sharing with you strands of the rest of my life. I come to you from central Iowa, where I live with my 4 boys, my husband, our 3 cats, and our dog. And yes, it is the lovely COVID-19 thing, so it's been an interesting week, and I can't say I haven't gotten any crafting done, but I feel like I've gotten a lot less than I should have, probably because I've been preoccupied with trying to get things situated for, I guess, my family and getting the supplies so that if we are put under isolation or whatever, that we have the things that we need to in order to make do. But honestly, this quarantining thing and stuff, and having all these public buildings closed and all these things, it doesn't really change my world all that much because I'm stuck inside all day till my husband got home from work anyways. And so since this week was supposed to be spring break, it really isn't any different here other than the fact that my husband's working from home, and therefore I can't send the older boys downstairs, or at least one downstairs, when one gets on the other's nerves. So I'm stuck with 4 boys in, I mean, we don't have a super tiny house, but we don't have a huge first floor either. And yeah, when all your boys share a room, when one gets mad at one or one is sleeping, like with the littles, it makes things a lot closer to each other than we would rather have. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting now with things, although like I said, not all that different. I mean, a lot of times the most interaction I get is going on a little car ride once a day out to the Pokestop and back anyways, so that's still pretty much all the same for me. It's just, it's going to be a lot of days like that in a row instead of once in a while. But yeah, it's just, I'm puzzled because Sam was getting in a really good place education-wise. He takes a long time to adjust to change. And having him out of school for a month now is just, it's setting him up for failure. And I hate to see that as a parent. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, I'm like, I have kids. I'm prepared to get sick. I mean, honestly, none of us want to get sick, but we're all going to do it. I probably will get hit the hardest out of my family because I do have some respiratory issue that they've never figured out over 3.5 years. And, you know, I'm just kind of prepared to deal with it. But yeah, so we don't know when the kids will be going back. I can't teach Sam. I mean, I can't. There's a lot of visual things to learning, and I don't have the materials I need to teach them visual things, and all the libraries are closed, bookstores are closed. I mean, seriously, we can't even teach from home unless it's on a computer, and I really don't like them on my computer because then I have to change my speech settings, I have to change my contrast settings, and it's a pain. And, you know, my husband's working from home, so they can't go downstairs, they can't. It's frustrating. But, you know, well, we'll make it through. It's basically summer early and with no preparation. I mean, they could have at least come up with some kind of plan. I told the kids, don't leave anything at school because we don't know when you'll be going back. Honestly, we thought it would be in April, like the beginning of April, that they'd be going back, that they might have an extra. I'm like, be prepared. Anything you leave at school is going to be there for 2 weeks. And now it's a month, so that's just interesting. But anyways, so let's get on to crafting talk, right? Because this is probably going to be a short episode because I just don't have a whole lot to share. So we are all dressed up, even though I'm not physically dressed up now. I'm going to try to get my husband to take a photo later, and we'll see if that happens with me wearing my socks and hopefully something else crafty. Just to make it fun that, you know, we're all dressed up with nowhere to go because my fiber event, of course, well, it's postponed currently and not rescheduled yet. But I did finish my socks from Yarn Geek Fibers. This was in the Marine Biologist colorway. I don't remember her name. It's Sylvia something, I believe, because I did look it up. But then again, I can't remember what it is other than Marine Biologist. And see, guys, you can still cough and not have the coronavirus. Well, I mean, seriously, I have no idea, but I am not any sicker than I have been in 3 years, so. But yes, of course, as usual, this is the How I Make My Socks, which is Susan Anderson. I did a 27 row cuff with a, what did I say, 42 round leg, the heel flap and gusset. I don't know which heel flap that is because that's just the pattern written or how I've learned to do it. I made mine long enough that I could pick up 14 stitches, and so I had 44 for my heel pickup when all is said and done, and then worked 30 rounds, which is funny because I think Jeremy's I make a whole lot longer than that. 30 rounds before I started my toe, and so those look really small, but you know, this does give a little stretch. And I don't like my socks long, so or at least long in the foot, because that just means they're going to wear harder. I don't remember what the space is, other than I did look it up, and it is a Corriedale nylon. I want to say that's a 75-25, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I did finish these socks, so I will have them to wear whenever we do get to see Yarn Geek Fibers. I do not believe she goes to the Shepherd's Harvest Festival, so that's our next scheduled thing. Of course, who knows if we'll be able to go, even though that's all the way in May. But that would be our next big event. And then she's usually at Iowa Sheep and Wool, which is actually where I got this particular colorway, was at Iowa Sheep and Wool. And so hopefully, it might be hot, but I'm gonna wear these in June. If that's the next time that I get to see her. But those aren't in the My Little Pony, although the yarn is still in there. I made those on my 1.5 Chalgu 9-inch circulars, and yeah, I think that's all I have to share about those. Then I have the hoe of the day. For some reason, I seem to only make one booty every video. So I haven't even cut this off yet. I did this in the car. I want to say it was one of the first days when the panic was going out, and so I was just getting finished, and we're waiting for the person at the mailbox to, the mail carrier to finish at the mailbox. And so I was actually not even sewing these up, but was able to completely sew it up and finish it off, except for cutting it off in the time it took them to actually close up the mailboxes so that we could get our mail. But as usual, that is with my F-hook, or the 3.75 as a Clover Soft Touch, which is from a local yarn store, which is actually the furthest yarn store from me, but it was during the shop hop, which comes up in April. Hopefully that'll happen. I guess that's to be heard, or to be seen. It's during the local yarn store day or whatever. That is the like nationwide event. They do our local shop hop at that same time. So what is that? The last weekend of, or the last Saturday of April, or the second to last. So we'll see if we get to go this year. Oh, and I just have this being held with the stitch marker that I got from Knit for Brains, I believe. And this is Karen Simply Soft in the white colorway. And that's my the Preemie project in my Sticks and Strings 2019 bag from the Silver Shed USA. And that was from the Sticks and Strings retreat from 2019. Then we have I guess I could making weird faces, guys. Sorry. We have in my Crochet Cakes, I went back to this one. I think I might, as much as I love having my Little Pony bag, I really like this bag that I won from Crochet Cakes. Probably the best for working out of while I'm walking around, because the handle is on the side. And it's even above, it might start at the halfway point. But because of that, I find with my silver shed ones that because the handle's is attached to the zipper, that then if I'm walking around, the zipper is pulling itself shut. And with this, I don't have that issue. So I do actually like working out of this bag better than the My Little Pony bag. Like I said, this is the Crochet Cakes bag, which is Dainty by Crochet Cakes on Etsy. But I don't know if she has any bags currently in her shop. I know she only had a pattern up the last time that I looked. Although she did put a podcast up not that long ago, but I don't think she's mentioned anything shop-wise for a while. At least not new. But in that bag I have my newest pair of socks. This is the Night Bus colorway, which is a Bumblebee Acres color. This we got back at the first Shepherd's Harvest Festival we went to, which was in 2018. And this pair will technically be for Jeremy, but basically I went down to the size 1 tip, and I just want to see what the difference is. So I meant to do this pretty much the same as I made his Ghost Forest socks, except for I was doing it the same way that I make me and my husband's socks, which is how I make my socks pattern. Except for I goofed up and I made his cuff as long as my cuff, which is the 27 rows. I was only going to do 26 so that they would match, but I did an extra round. Actually, I did about a round and a half extra, but I went back and tinked back that half a row that I had. But I got the 27 done, and then I am on the 5th round of my stockinette, which again, well, I did 36 on his pair, so I'll probably go to that and see how they measure up to his other socks, and see if I might just go to the 42, since I'm already that close to making it just like one of my pairs of socks. But like I said, this is on a size 1, which is a 2.25 instead of the 2.5. And that's just because he's really hard on stuff, so I wanted to try and get a tighter stitch, which I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I do. And this isn't the same kind of yarn, because I think this is still a merino nylon and not a Corriedale nylon. Let's see. I mean, they're not going to be that much different, but they're a little, I think. I can't really tell, guys. They're not the same base, so they're not going to be quite exactly the same anyway. Yeah. But again, the Night Bus colorway, I will be changing the stitch markers at some point, but I have my one from Knit and Purl, and that is a podcast channel, and one of my Becky ones. I don't have my trumpet or my Lego one on this, which I probably will be switching this one out for, but I haven't got to that point yet. I had the one out, and then I just needed one quick to mark my rows for counting. And the only spinning I've done is in the car, so it's still just that car project. Trying to see if I had anything else to share with you, but not really. Just not been a super interesting time here, I guess. I've been doing lots of cleaning. It is spring cleaning time, so all this cleaning and like disinfecting is just kind of things that I'm doing anyways. Right now, the house is quiet, and you've noticed I haven't cut because the house is quiet as my mother-in-law has taken all 4 boys for a couple nights. And, you know, even though there is the COVID thing, when they're at Nanny's house, other than they usually, I think, try to attend a movie or something, they don't really go out more than to the park and stuff anyways. So they're kind of, At least in her county, there hasn't been any reported cases as of yet, knock on wood. But, I mean, there's been 3 in my county, but they don't tell you where in my county. And, you know, we don't really see anyone that seems to be ill. We like to wash our hands, but then of course I have Leo, who during church service decided to walk into the bathroom, and of course they have stools for the kids to stand on to wash their hands, and Leo decided to go and lick the footstool. Yeah, because he's a kid. Which is why I said I am totally prepared to catch this at some point. If I can extend the time frame, that's, you know, appreciated, but I don't think it's avoidable. I have 4 boys, and only one of them is probably mature enough to realize that he actually needs to be washing hands and things. So yeah, we're totally prepared to catch this at some point, and we're not living in fear of it. I mean, it's a nasty cold. I'm hoping that it doesn't, you know, that it's not any worse than that for our family. And it could be, and, you know, it's something that we're all going to catch eventually. So we're just not all that worried about it. It just kind of sucks when you can't go around to anything because everything is closed and locked up. Although there are some bright sides, because, guys, oh, I can't lift my leg up high enough. We can wear our pajama pants all day now because we can't go anywhere. We can, you know, we don't have to buy as much makeup and things unless you're getting on a video like this. And, you know, less hair products, less, you know, all these things that we can do less of because we're not trying to impress people outside our house. I guess that's my bright side to it. I mean, I've got yarn and things to last me forever. Like I said, this isn't a huge change for me because I'm shut up in my house all day on a normal day. Anyways, it was just the evenings that I got to get out, and most of that was grocery shopping in the first place, and we can still do that, at least as of now, although I'm always hesitant to go out because I do have an occasional cough from time to time, and I don't want people freaking out. It's like, this is something I've had for at least 3.5 years now. I'm very used to it, but I know that people are jumpy. And so I've gone around, oh, I should have brought it out, and I've been wearing a cowl even though it's not super cold out. And that is just so that if I do cough or something, I can quickly grab that as I'm doing it and cough into my cowl, which is what I would suggest. I'm not going to walk around with a surgical mask or something on, plus you can't find them anywhere to begin with. But if I have that cowl, then I can take it home and wash it regularly and not be exposing you guys to anything that's not contagious anyways, because I've been through this for 3 years now. But that's just to set some of you guys at ease. And I think that's about all I have to talk about today. I'm sure there's many other things, but yeah, they're just not interesting. I switched books. I don't even remember what book I'm reading. It has to do with religion. That's all I remember. And I finished You're Worth It, which was a book by Kyle Carpenter, which was pretty good. It didn't really go the way I thought it was going to go, but it was a good book. Living with the Gods is what I'm reading, on beliefs and peoples. So that's what I'm currently reading. It's kind of interesting. It's talking about this statue of a lion with a man face. That was the last thing I remember it talking about. And we'll give that more whirl, but I still got plenty of YouTube videos to watch. I went from having only less than 100 YouTube videos to catch up on to back over 100, and I think the highest I went was 175. Maybe it was 181. I don't remember now, but yeah, it was just like, people quit uploading. But at the same time, you know, I understand people don't have anything to do, but I also like to keep up with people, at least if I can try to, and I don't find anybody, well, I can't say that. I find everyone's story is important, so I have trouble just skipping things. So anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap that up for today. And I hope you all stay safe and keep well, or at least eat your veggies and your fruit and things so you can at least keep your system healthy to help fight off this incoming invasion from this disease. But anyways, guys, we will... Oh, if you like this episode, I hope you hook the like button and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys.